Hey guys, Chris and Eric here at Star Wars Celebration, and we've just come from the premiere episode of Season 3 of Rebels. How was it for you, Eric?
I thought it was great. There is a lot of cool things in this episode that introduce new elements into Rebels and really also build upon where the Season 2 finale ended that I thought is very cool things to come.
So we're not going to spoil it here, but we'll try and talk about maybe the setups and stuff early on in the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it kicks off with them trying to break Hando out of prison.
Yeah, and that clip's been released, and it's sort of a fun adventure clip. But I'll say this, is that when that clip begins, and when the episode begins, you might think, oh, this is going in a lighter direction than I might expect based on how Season 2 ended. Mm-hmm. They didn't forget how Season 2 ended. And the episode sort of quickly does weave into how it ended and exactly where everyone's mind is at and how Kanan and Ezra have been affected by what happened at the end of Season 2.
Yeah, regarding Ezra, we have a new hairstyle. He's got a trim, short crop.
Yep.
But also, he seems pretty confused about where he's at and what side he's on, you know? I think he knows what side he's on, but he's slowly getting pulled to the dark side.
I mean, Season 2 ended with him opening the Sith holocron, and after being warned a lot about what the Sith holocron could mean. And again, this is the Season 2 premiere, they really kind of make sure to show you what that means and how Ezra is changing and perhaps not for the better.
Yeah, he's becoming more powerful, but possibly not more good.
Right.
And Kanan, he's now blind. They mentioned in the panel, and we could see it in the episode, that there's going to be kind of a samurai influence on his character in this, Satoichi. The famous samurai story. There's going to be elements of that, and we saw that early on, I think, in the episode.
Yeah, and I really like also that they're not pulling back. I mean, he's blind, and there's not going to be a miracle cure. The character will just have to move forward with that.
Yeah.
But you definitely see that he is adrift as well. He doesn't quite know how to function. I mean, he's lost his eyes, and he is a fighter himself. He's a Jedi, but he doesn't really know exactly what to do. He's kind of off from the group when the premiere begins. And he will have to sort of go on his own little journey of the mind to sort of figure out what his next step is. And
we met a couple of big new characters, one physically and one in terms of the Star Wars universe. So maybe we'll start with Bendu, voiced by Tom Baker. He's a character that Kanan goes to visit to get sort of advice from. And he's really interesting. He looks amazing. We're not really sure what side of the Force he's on, or he says he's neither light nor dark. He says, I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So he's quite an interesting kind of new direction for the show to take.
Yeah, I mentioned this on the other video we've done talking about the panel and things that happen in the panel, but that character, what I like about that character is it reminds me of the Mortis storyline in Clone Wars, which I know was maybe a little polarizing because it introduced these ideas of these sort of physical embodiments of the Force and sort of really going into a trippy place with the Force. But I think it does work with what we know about the Force and it existing in all living things. And if some people were more powerful than the Force than others, and he seems to be, maybe he's one of a race. We'll find out if there's more of him, but it's like this idea that he is sort of an avatar for the Force, but neither the light nor the dark side, and that there is that sort of in-between place that I think a lot of the characters maybe are struggling with right now.
Yeah. And we met the new villain of Season 3.
We did.
Grand Admiral Thrawn, which got a big cheer when he appeared on screen.
Yeah. Grand Admiral Thrawn, long-awaited character as far as introducing him into canon. There was rumors he was going to come onto Rebels. Here he is. And I definitely think it is just a couple of introductory scenes, but you quickly get the idea that he is a serious threat and he's smart. I think that's the most important thing about him. Obviously, he's not Darth Vader. He can't use the Force, but he is he's got a very tactical mind. Yeah. And he's looking at the big picture.
Exactly. We don't know what his plot is now, but it's a big one. And the one quote I remember him saying is he wants to tear the rebels apart piece by piece.
Yes.
Which is not good.
Yeah.
As for the episode itself, there were a couple of big action scenes, 2 missions. Don't really want to spoil them here, but it was lots of action, wasn't it? It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I felt like it set up a lot of really cool things.
Me too. I will say, because it's a natural comparison to make, I don't think it's as great as the Season 2 premiere. It couldn't be, because Season 2 premiere was so much Darth Vader. It was Darth Vader kicking ass, and it was also Ahsoka and Vader kind of sensing each other for the first time. There couldn't have been sort of higher stakes. It doesn't try to equal that, but like you said, there's a lot of groundwork laid for what's to come. And Thrawn alone, it's so intriguing about, I think, where they're going to go with him and what a threat he'll be to the Rebels. And there is also a little bit more of nice connective tissue to the other Star Wars movies and maybe where they're going in the future, which we already know because we've seen it put into this premiere.
Cool. So that will be airing sometime in the fall if you're an American, or autumn if you're English, because that's how we roll.
That's how you roll.
Eric and I are going to be at Celebration all weekend, so keep your eye on IGN for all you need to know about Star Wars.
And may the Force be with you always.